So I'm back at Buck's Pocket State Park to do one of the trails that I was going to hike yesterday. The weather's a little better today. Hot still, but not raining. So anyway, it's only 1.1 miles to the top, but I just drove down this hill, so I know it's a long climb and a steep one. So I think it's going to be a pretty rough 1.1 mile hike. And then I got to come back down it. So anyway, yeah, it should be a challenging hike, even though it's short, but yeah, come along. Point Rock, Bucks Pocket State Park. Steep grades, length 1.1 miles. Dog on leash. Typical grade 10%, maximum grade almost 50. Cross slope. Wow, they got a lot of information here. Anyway, heading up to Point Rock. Okay, yeah. I've got a well whooped ass already. This thing is getting a hold of me. I don't know how far I've gone. Probably a quarter mile. Feels like longer, but that's probably about it. Hadn't been a whole lot of uphill yet, but I know there's a lot coming. There's been some. It's got me breathing heavy. But I know there's some coming. Has to. So I think we're going way up there somewhere. So anyway, stick with me. Whew, yeah. I think we're probably about halfway in. I'm trying to be conservative about my estimate, so maybe I'm further along than that, but I'm gonna say halfway. I think I hear there's a small waterfall on this trail, or just off this trail. The Little Salty waterfall, I think that's what I hear. So yeah, Little Salty waterfall. So let's go over here and check this out. Woo! Whew. All right. Now, there's not a lot of water and water right. A lot of running water right now, so yeah, there it is. The Little Salty Falls. And there's a little bit of water coming down. I'll splice in a video from somebody else's video where it's really rolling. Beautiful though, either way, beautiful. Starting to feel like we're starting to get a little towards the top of the hill, I think. There's a little rock formation, beautiful, but look at this little, I guess you can call it a cave. All right. Anyway, let's keep rocking. I'm gonna say we're 3/4, even though, not sure. We'll see. Maybe wishful thinking, but I think we're almost there. And I said I was 3/4 of the way done. like a minute ago. So hopefully that means I was further along than I thought. I think we're gonna know in a second. It feels like we're at the top of the hill. So although I could be wrong. Okay, wasn't quite as close as I thought this time, so I'll hit you back when we at the top. Okay, I'm pretty confident that we are nearing the end. This straight, relatively level place is probably a good quarter mile long, so I was probably right when I said 3/4 a while back, because right after that is when this relatively flat area started. But that means the majority of the climb, because it starts out fairly level too, so there's probably a good less than half a mile that is the killer part of it when you're climbing. And it is steep. It's probably the roughest 2-mile course I've done, or course, but trail. 2 miles is not that big a deal, but this one's tough, and I'm only halfway through it. So, and as you can see, hopefully you can see, anybody that watched my video yesterday, this is exactly where I was, at the Point Rock Overlook, or the Wynn. The guy's named after Wynn Overlook. Yep. This is exactly where I was yesterday. But I drove up here yesterday. So basically anyone can come up here. It's not wheelchair accessible, but it's not very far from the parking lot to the end. So if you're ambulatory at all, you can probably make it. We could probably get Kayla to the end, but it would be rough by the time we got back. So I don't know if we'd actually do it. There's that beautiful cliff face that we saw yesterday. I mean, ain't that something? Golly. I guess it looked like a trail where you can kind of, no, I'm not doing it. Once you got going downhill, you wouldn't stop. Here we are again. And that is, you look down there, you see that white, you can see the tops and campers. That's the campground. That's where I started walking from. That's where my truck is parked. See if I can zoom in on it. Okay, I rested here for probably longer than I needed to, but that was a tough hike. to be so short. I'm headed back down. I'm gonna get up here to the top of this boardwalk and kind of time myself a little. I'm not gonna hurry, but I like to see how long it takes to get to the bottom of the trail. Coming down sometimes is harder. So anyway, see, I might not do much videoing on the way back down. So we are coming up on the end of the trail. There was a shortcut back there to the parking lot, but I didn't take it. I wanted to finish. It's a short enough trail, I shouldn't have to cheat. So, this is it. Point Rock Trail at Bucks Pocket State Park. So that was it. I did come down. I did time myself coming down. And I left at 12:20 and I got here at 12:50. So that's half an hour. And I didn't really stop and smell the roses. So that's 2 miles an hour, roughly, speed. And I know in the Army when we did ruck marches, the goal was always 4 miles an hour. So 1 mile every 15 minutes. But you know, you gotta almost stop to climb down, climb up. So I did it at a pretty good clip, I think. I broke one of my hiking sticks. Thought I had a good footing and didn't. Fell on my tail. Anyway, that was tough. That's probably the toughest short hike I've ever done. I mean, yeah, I was underestimating it because it was so short. Will not do that again. Anyway, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And remember, not all those who wander are lost. Thanks for watching.